What's going on? It is March. I just took my contacts out, so I can't even see the little date in the top corner of my screen, for fuck's sake. March 6th, 9:04 p.m., 2025, Thursday. Okay, so I'm just going to dive right into what I have in my notes. So I don't remember. I think I saw a tweet about this, and it got me thinking, and I'm trying to do better at writing these things down as they come to me rather than waiting after I finished whatever I'm working on, because I honestly, for me to keep that thought alive, I almost have to drop everything and write it down or put a reminder in my phone or something so that I don't forget it, because oftentimes I'll have what I think is a very deep thought. I think it's a nice thought that I could talk about. And then I say to myself, okay, let me just finish this chapter. Oh, okay, let me just finish this set. Or if I'm at the gym, let me just finish writing this paragraph or whatever. And then I forget. And that's just not as powerful because I don't capture everything. And so, yeah, I only have a couple here, but it is what it is. So I think I saw a tweet today that talked about, no, it wasn't a tweet. I was listening to Andy's podcast, Andy Frisella. And he was talking about how if you are ambitious, you have a lot of big goals, you want to take the entrepreneurship route in life, you want to do that, then a lot of the content that you see on social media just doesn't apply to you. And I feel fucking badass because I've been talking about this for a while. There's so much shit out there that just doesn't apply to me. You know, like the whole retirement thing, the whole 401k, the whole savings and the different things you can do with money, and the different routes you should take to be safe and secure and ensure that your future is taken care of and that you don't have to work and you can retire and you can just play golf all day. You know, if that's not what you want, then everything that pertains to that just doesn't apply to you. And so it got me thinking about an analogy. So you need to be able to distinguish the different maps you're looking at and be able to compare that to the path you're on. So think about this. Think about if you're hiking and you're just going up one specific canyon or one trail or something like that. We'll call it Trail A. So if you're on Trail A, you're actively hiking on Trail A, and you pull up a map of Trail B, but you don't know that, and it says, okay, up on your right past the big rock, there's going to be a big waterfall. You should see it right after you pass the big rock. If you keep on going down that path and you never see a big rock, you're going to think you did everything wrong. You're going to think that the thing that you're doing, you're doing the wrong things. You're not going the right way, or you messed up, because you clearly should see the big rock and then you should see the big waterfall. But the truth is, you're just looking at the wrong map. It's not the wrong map for everybody, but for you and where you're going, you're looking at the wrong map. And so you need to be able to distinguish the difference between which map you're on versus, or compared to the path, and adjust accordingly. So the point there is, it's honestly a reminder for myself, because I'll come across some content on social media or come across some posts or something like that, and I read it and I think, oh shit, dude, I'm so far off kilter here. You know, I'm off here. I need to adjust or whatever. And then I take a step back and I think, no, this isn't for me. This is for the 9-to-5 guy who's trying to play it safe. Or this is for, I use this analogy all the time, but this is for golfers, or this is for football players. I'm a golfer. This doesn't really pertain to me. You know, and at a much easier to understand example, it's as if you're a golfer and you're trying to figure out how to hit the ball as far as you can by watching football information or videos or whatever. And it's a very obvious and easy example, because of course you wouldn't do that, because they're two different things. They're just two different sports. They have certain things in common, sure, but that's, for the most part, they're completely different, and they're completely different destinations, completely different style, everything like that. So being able to be on one path and be able to see what you're looking at and then compare that to where you're trying to go, and then have the awareness to decide, or to decipher between, or discern, between what applies to you and what does not apply to you. If you're along this path and it says there's a big rock and then a waterfall, but your path is in a desert, you're not going to say, oh yeah, I'm going to wait for a big mossy rock, You would just know shit that doesn't apply to me, you know? So, sorry, I just got a text. So it just got me thinking, you know? So that's pretty much what I wanted to share there. You know, we can all be trying to follow the right stuff, but if what we're following calls out things that we just don't see or that don't apply, rather than thinking that you're on the wrong path or that you're going the wrong way, just maybe you are looking at the wrong map altogether for your life, you know? Look at the people who are where you want to be and then emulate what they're doing. So that's the whole idea. That's the whole idea. Sorry, I'm getting texts. Fuck. All right, so that's that. The other thing that I actually wrote this down a little bit ago. I'm going to read about both of these actually because they're pretty quick. The first one is everyone who has access to the internet has access to the same information. So some people make it, some people don't. So it's not about information then, is it? And that's just a deep thought I had. You know, me and Andy Frisella, we have the same access to the internet. We have access to the same apps. We have access to the same articles and websites. We all have access to the same shit. Now, I know that certain people have access to, excuse me, like classified information if you're in the government, or I fucking understand that. I understand people have access to their website port or their work portal or whatever at work. No shit. I understand. But for the most part, everybody's got access to the same shit. I can go on Google and I can type in how to lose weight, just like the 500-pound fat fuck down the street, just like he can or she can. So if we all have access to the same information, if we all have access to the same books and words and letters and lessons and teachings and education, then it's not about that then, because if it were, then everybody would have all their shit figured out. So it's not about information. It's about everything else. It's about the discipline and the execution. It's about the messy effort rather than the paralysis by analysis, which I'm very guilty of still to this day. So it's not about information. And it, again, just got me thinking. I wanted to share it. So just sharing my thoughts with this shit. We all have access to the same shit. We all have 24 hours in a day. Just how we spend it. Fuck, what's going on with my throat? Sorry if you're listening with AirPods. I just probably took a shit in your eardrum. My bad. Guarantee that's going to make the quote below. But whatever. That's that. Don't want to really touch on that anymore, but it's just a thought that I had. The next one is, and this is the last one I'm going to go because I'm really tired. But a man, and this is some Stoic philosophy that I got from The Obstacle is the Way, I believe. No, I got it from the Daily Stoic. I'm reading that as well. And it essentially talked about how a man who makes a mistake and then doesn't correct it then makes two. Meaning, if you make a mistake, your second mistake would be not correcting the first. And it's just some shit that I got me thinking, just some deep thoughts, you know? This happened today. It's kind of a weird example, but I'm in the break room at work. I'm the only one in there, and there's some crumbs and shit on my desk because I just had some chips or whatever. And I was like, well, I'm just going to brush this off. And I brush it off, and I can see visually where it landed on the floor, and it just looks bad. It just looks messy. And I would like to think that I'm not a messy person, that I clean up my messes, and that, you know, I'm tentative to that, and I'm aware of that of myself. Not saying that I never make messes, but yeah, I made a mistake by throwing that on the floor for sure because it was messy. And I looked at it and I thought, that's a bummer. And then I looked at it again and I thought, dude, I can't do that. No, that's not right. That's not who I am. And so I bent down and picked up the 10 or 11 crumbs down there, picked them up, threw them away. And had I not picked it up, I would have just made two mistakes. I would have chipped away at who I am a little bit, twice, actually, for me to do something wrong. Well, for me to do something and then realize after I'd done it that it was wrong, and then to see that, be aware of it, acknowledge it, and then to not do anything about it after I acknowledge that something was wrong, that's a second mistake. So a man who doesn't correct his mistake then makes two. And I don't know what the official quote of that is, but let's actually just look it up right now. A man who doesn't fix his first mistake. A man who has committed a mistake and doesn't correct it is committing another mistake. And that's from Confucius. If you notice a mistake and don't point it out, you're making a mistake. Not correcting mistakes spirals infinitely into more mistakes, starting never-ending chain of failure. Happened to me. Got me. Okay, whatever. Anyway, that's the whole idea there. So you make it oopsie. If you don't correct it, that's a second oopsie. So just by seeing and rejecting and seeing and rejecting, again, it's just never-ending spiral of oopsie whoopsie daisies. So anyway, there's that. Now, as far as my life goes, everything's good. I'm hanging in there. It feels a lot better having more time to work on my stuff, or just spacing it out in a way where I only work for me on one day. So I work tomorrow for him, and we'll see how that goes. Because I kind of been out of the loop there, because I actually got removed from their Canva, which I'm not complaining about that. I'm not even going to bring it up, because if he doesn't want me doing Canva shit, hallelujah, because that shit is ass. So, hear that bravado, dude? Fuck. So, tomorrow I'm doing check-ins probably. And that's the unfortunate thing is that's my night. I'm going to come home from work. It's an early day. I get out an hour early. I'm going to get home I'll get home and situated around 2. And then we actually rescheduled the call for tomorrow to be 2 hours or an hour and a half earlier. So, we'll do the call. I'll get off. And from, I think, 3 or 3:30 to 8:30, that's my night. That's all I'm doing right there. That's my entire night right there. So not looking forward to that, but if it does allow me to just do it all in one day and I still get paid, then that's cool. So again, still having thoughts about just bailing altogether. I don't like the idea of having all this time be spent otherwise, but it is what it is. Now, as far as my own coaching program goes, I am just kind of polishing things up, making things better, what I think I'm going to do. And if anybody is listening that wants to sign up, then feel free to message me. But rather than starting everything, and it's so frustrating because I talked about this maybe 100 or 200 episodes ago. No, it was about 100 to 120 episodes ago. I talked about how I wanted to reduce my pricing by 95% so that anybody who signed up would get the most ridiculous deal. It would be a no-brainer, but that would be for the sole purpose of getting them into the program and having them pay just a little bit to feel like they have some sort of skin in the game. Now, not nearly enough to make a shit ton of results that they could, but not everybody needs to do that, and some people absolutely do. But the point is, it would just allow me to get more people into the program, and it would allow me to polish off all the systems and make more stuff and have that pressure. Because right now, I don't like going into Everfit and creating a workout program. This shit's very tedious, and I don't like to do that. But if somebody just paid me and they're waiting on me to make them their program, and this is a potential testimonial and written review and all that, then I need to make sure that I'm on top of this. And that's what I want to do. And so, if anybody wants to take advantage of this and sign up, I think what I'm going to do is literally take the price from $1,000 for 4 months and drop it down to $50 a month. And if you want in, all good, you can do it. You just got to, you can either, I don't know the details. I just want to make it such a low barrier of entry, just extremely low cost for maximum value. And that's just to get more testimonials, more reviews, stuff like that, and go from there. And it would just be on a recurring monthly basis. And it would be, ideally it's 4 months. And then after that, you cancel whenever you want. But that's the whole idea. And again, the whole idea there is just to get more testimonials, more experience, polish off my systems, and to actually build something here. Because maybe I'm just thinking too big here. I don't know. But I feel like it'd be much easier to get, and faster, to get 20 clients at $50 a month. They would be lower quality clients, and I probably wouldn't be able to get as many testimonials as if it was 20 clients that were paying in full for the real deal. But it would allow me to figure out where my program sucks, how I can improve it, what I need to make, what people struggle with the most, what I can put emphasis on, all that shit, and then dial that in, and then actually make the real deal. that much better for, not the real deal, but the full price package and program that much better for the people down the road. And when I think about this, I just don't think about the money at all, which again, just makes you feel like I'm still doing I still have the right state of mind, because yes, I want to make money and quit my job and all that stuff, 100%. But I'm more interested in making this shit work and having my stuff be successful for the sake of growing something and building something from the ground up. I'm more proud about the blade system that I made up than really anything else, because that's already giving people results. I mean, we got a guy that's on blade 3 right now. That's just so fucking cool. He said some of his, without giving up too much information, he said some of the people at his work reached out and told him, hey dude, you look like you've been lifting. And he said, yeah, dude, it's cool. I feel like I'm the guy that people see who's the guy who lifts now. And I'm like, dude, that's literally all I fucking want for everybody. That's so cool. So I'm more proud of that. And it's a free program. It's a free, not even a program. It's just a framework. You put in, you make the rules, not the rules. You pick out the tasks that you want to do. That's all on you. You know, your call for that. All I did was make the framework, you know, and I'm finding more joy and happiness, I'm finding more fulfillment and excitement from that than anything else. And I think if I can just get people into the program how I do now, and then be forced and have that pressure to deliver and all this stuff for them, I think that would change a little bit. Now, I'm not relying on the pressure for me to work, but that'd be cool. The more, you know, just to get a community rolling, because seems like it's a big selling point for other programs. Like Mina's got a community of 130 people, something like that. And 130 people, that's so fucking cool. So if I can get 130 people, that would be pretty cool too. You know, that'd be very cool. So that's that. So that's how I'm doing. Time management is all right. Doing good. A little lazy, but with the meal preps and stuff and hitting the gym consistently, I feel great. Feel much better. I'm very in my head right now because I stepped on the scale and it read 199.7 tonight. Now I'm not bulking that intense, but you know, I definitely have some stomach fat, more than I want right now, but I just feel like I'm feeling out quite a bit right now. And it is such a great feeling because I haven't felt this way in a while. It feels good because I've been in the slumps a little bit. So feeling good. I don't really care about the number on the scale as much as I care about how I look. I mean, the scale could say 280. And if I look how I look now, that's cool. It could say 104. I don't care. That seems like what people ask all the time. When I was first getting into lifting, people would say, oh, how much do you weigh? And I always answered, and I would, in the back of my head, I'm like, well, who gives a fuck? You know, like Ronnie Coleman, he's 320 pounds. He's a pro bodybuilder, 320 pounds. If you put that on anybody else, they're fat. They're fat as fuck. He was just solid muscle. And so I always just thought of it when people would ask, I'm like, oh, this is body composition, dude. We're all different. So if I'm 6 foot and you're 6 foot, you're skinny, or I'm skinny, you're buff, but we're both the same weight, then clearly you have much more muscle and much less fat than I do. And so therefore weight goes out the window because who gives a fuck? And so I don't know. I've always just thought about that. And it seems like a lot of people struggle with that, with the weight and the number on the scale. Because being with Mina, a lot of the check-ins, people are like, oh yeah, man, I had a great week, but the scale just keeps going up. I don't know what's going on. And I don't know how to communicate that it doesn't fucking matter, period. You know, because like to some extent it does. It's pretty cool to know that the scale is going down because it is a data point of progress. But you can also measure yourself with measuring tape. You can spend some money. You can go get a DEXA scan or do what do they call it, a bod pod, where they immerse you in water, something like that. You could go get some kind of body scan. You could take photos. You could use clothing to measure your progress. You can use, photos, mirrors, all that stuff. So, I mean, it's a perfect example, but over the course of a year, let's say you lose 15 pounds of fat, but you also gain 15 pounds of muscle. The scale is not going to move. So you're going to start the year at 150. You're also going to end it at 150. You might even end it at 151. You didn't make zero progress. You probably got stronger. You probably got leaner, because to replace fat with muscle, not saying that you can replace it, but to lose fat and then build muscle, you're going to look way different. And just because if you were to just look at the scale, like if we didn't have mirrors invented and we only had scales just in this hypothetical world, we'd all probably think that we are just sucking ass because we can't see the progress. We can only look at a number on a scale in which the scale might have a one-off day, or you might have extra water one day, or you might be dealing with something and your hormones are off and you're retaining more water than usual, whatever. So many different options, or so many different variables in this shit. That's also why I like to weigh myself daily, because you can get the average per day. Because let's say, I wrote a post about this, but let's say 6 days out of the week, I'm 200. And well, let's do this. So 6 days out of the week, I'd say I lose, for just to easy example, let's say that I lose a quarter pound every day. So on that 6th day, I've lost 1.5 pounds. Now, if I look on the 7th day and I weigh myself, and maybe I had a stomach ache, or maybe I had extra Taco Bell and there's all that sodium fucking with my water retention. And so maybe the scale shows that I'm actually up 0.5 pounds. So I'm going to think my whole week, I didn't get the results that I was looking for, and I actually gained weight. That's not what I want. So then I'm going to adjust my plan because, oh shit, I gained weight from doing this. I need to eat less then. Eat less than this now. And in all reality, you lost, probably, I don't know, you want whatever the average is. You lost a pound or whatever. I don't know what the average is. But that's the truth of it. But if you didn't weigh yourself and you get those one-off scale measurements, then you're gonna be in your head about it. And so when I come across these check-ins, it's frustrating for me because I want to type, "Hey, dude, who gives a fuck?" Or, "Hey, dude, you shouldn't give a fuck. Matter of fact, throw your scale away. We're done with this." But anyway, I don't know where I was going with this whole big tangent, but that's kind of where I'm at with everything now. So, yep, nothing else left to say. So that's the show. Appreciate you guys listening. I'll talk to you tomorrow. That's it for today. If you got some sort of value or you were entertained, please consider leaving a rating on the platform that you're listening on. It helps a ton. If you are looking for a more polished version of this show, you can check out the Allegiant Excellence podcast, where I go deep into mindset, discipline, fitness, and personal development as a man. And don't forget to check out the links below and read the description. There are sometimes things written there that didn't quite make it on the episode. So thank you so much for your ongoing support in a guy that has massive ambition but nothing to show for it quite yet. And as always, thank you for taking time out of your day to listen and support. I'll see you tomorrow.